We've made it, my friends. This is the end of the First Flight saga with Batwoman. This is Batman Beyond, issue 42. And I love the little Blight's out. Lights out. Okay, moving on. Dad jokes aside. And I get that because I'm old and I am a dad. Now, last issue, Terry regained his memories. Batwoman saved him from becoming the host for Derek Powers. So Powers realizes Blight's he's gonna die. He says, so be it. If I have to die, I'm taking Bruce Wayne with me. Now, if you guys have not been following along, pause this video, go check out the playlist, or read the comics either in singles or collected trade, however you can pick it up, and then come back. And you're back. Decades from now. I know your secrets, Bruce. All of them. Easily discovered when I took control of Wayne Powers. I rifled through your records, especially the well-hidden ones, such as the decades-old construction project below Wayne Manor. I'm sure you fed the construction crew a tall tale designed to allay their suspicions. Like needing a secret passageway to a young playboy could sneak in and out of the city, visit the stable of women, easily enough to believe, given the roguish, roughish reputation you've cultivated. But we know better than that, don't we, Bruce? Or should I call you Batman? So, we're thinking, oh boy, Powers is in. Now everyone's still on the hunt for Elainna. I could kick myself for not realizing it from the start. You weren't alone, Bruce. She's my own daughter and I didn't know. Her special ops training was our clue, Dick. Perfect preparation for what she's become. So First Flight, conclusion. Dan Jurgens writing, Sean Chain penciling, Sean Parsons ink, Chris Sotomayor doing the colors, and Travis Lanham doing the lettering, and Dustin Neugen, I can never say that, colors. Now they start heading down to the Batcave. Because I'd like to talk to her, but she's disabled her communication systems. If I can find a workaround. I tried. Of course you did. But tech has always been my playground. Good luck. If she's tangled with Blight, she'll need help. She took down the attackers in front of the mansion, no problem. That isn't the issue, Melanie. Blight's radiation makes him deadly. Get too close for too long without adequate protection and you're done for. And then right there, quite right, tangle with me and your reward is a slow, excruciating death. And I just love this villain pose as he stands over the I guess it's called the bat glider, the bat plane. I never really understood what Terry calls it. But he says, good to see you again, partner. It's been too long. Powers. Yes. And what a shame that our blessed reunion won't last long. The Batmobile. Yes, the Batmobile. Complete with all its wonderful toys. He has control. Down. And so now, chaos is erupting in the Batcave. Elainna and Terry are on their way to the manor. The bus must have recruited you to cover me during my absence. Wayne, hardly. I did this on my own because everyone knows Gotham needs a Batman. Or in my case, Batwoman. So I snuck into the cave and stole the suit? Borrowed. To do what's necessary. Like, take on Blight. And then he says, where is it? Hold on. Wear the suit long enough and you'll see that most anything you can imagine is possible. Speaking of which, who are you anyways? What's your name? No. And I just love the close-up they get of Elainna's face, and she goes, no comment for now. Not until after, the access portal open. That's gotta mean trouble. And so then we come in and see the aftermath of what happened. You're nothing, Powers. Just another cheap punk with big talk. Killing the original Batman makes me far more than that. Whoever that man is, it won't be you. Enter Elainna. We're staying. Elainna needs us. Batwoman can handle things for a bit. Give me time. I need to find. Yes. Still 2, which means it's still here. And then finally, after umpteen, I think it started at 30 37, 35, I can't remember, all the way to issue 42. We see Terry and Elainna team up. He comes flying. He goes, the only thing that'll burn today is you, Powers. And I just love the heroic reintroduction of Terry. That's such a beautiful splash page right there. I wish it was a double spread. That would have been great without this craptacular ad. Anyway, now I've been gushing over this as we've been going through this arc. The artwork, chef's kiss. Because, yes, it was probably sketched and inked on a Wacom, but I keep saying this, look at the sketching detail. Even though it was probably done digitally, it looks hand done. It just doesn't look like they just splattered black or, used the paint bucket or whatever. This looks like someone that was actually traditionally schooled in inking. Like they actually grabbed India ink and actually started doing all this. And so just kind of at least seeing artists trying to make it look like old school comics to that degree is probably one reason why I'll probably cherish this particular art for a while, other than the fact that also Dan Jurgens is writing, who was basically, when I was a kid, I know a lot of people will say Christopher Reeves, yes, TV-wise, but I've always been more of a comic fan. And so to me, when I think of Dan Jurgens, yes, I think of Christopher Reeves, but also I think of Dan Jurgens because him, I know a lot of people in the 80s would say John Byrne, which, his Man of Steel run kind of re-kicked off Superman, but it was Dan Jurgens who really brought us forward. And that's why when I saw him and Peter Tomasi working on the books there for a while, I ate up all those issues. And then when I saw Bendis was on it, dropped it like a cold potato. Anyway, moving on, we're not going to get into all that. So this book essentially just goes into battle. And then I love how Elainna is down. Dick runs to her. Are you? And I love, one thing that I do love is I hate when they introduce heroes. And, this isn't always the case, but let me explain my thought process and maybe you guys can kind of track what I'm trying to say. Sometimes, and I'll use that word sometimes because you can't always use absolutes because I'm not a Sith. They'll introduce a character and like they have no adversity to come across. They just come out of the box full powered, having control over their powers, and there's no stakes. There's no kryptonite. But what I love here is we actually see Batwoman injured and she's trying to recover. The same when she flees, when she goes, not him, and she flees away to heal her wounds. But here she's down. Her father runs to her. He goes, are you? And just this dialogue box made me well up. She goes, I'm fine, Daddy. And sorry that you had to find out this way. You should have told me what you were up to so you could stop me. I don't think so. And you hold off on the family therapy session. And I love that because we kind of get this real tender moment between father and daughter. And for us, the longtime Batman fans, it means more to us because this is Dick Grayson and his daughter, who was afraid of her going down the same path as him. And he didn't want something to happen to her like Jason Todd or what happened to Barbara with the Killing Joke. But then before we can kind of let those emotions wash over us, Terry flies over. Can you hold off on the family therapy session? In case you hadn't noticed, that radioactive monster is hell-bent on killing us all. And so both of them team up, kick ass. Dick and Bruce do what they can. But as the book comes to the end, Terry has to make a very heavy decision. As the book ends, Bruce says, this leaves the question, which one of you wears the suit tomorrow? So guys, this was a great way to close out First Flight. And this is another thing that I will say that I love about Dan Jurgens' arc. And we will go over that Joker arc eventually. I just got to pull him out of my long box. But he gave us Terry's brother, Matt, is Robin. We see Melanie from the Royal Flush gang that was first introduced in the animated series and the gang itself, and then the future iteration and beyond. We see Barbara Gordon walking in the shoes of her father. We see Dick Grayson trying to be a protective father, but still there's that part of him that is Nightwing. And then, of course, Terry. And now that we have a new Robin, we have a new Batwoman. And I will say, it would be really cool. And maybe this happened, and I just haven't read further, but it would be cool to see Melanie either become the future Batgirl or, spoiler, because to me she looks like Stephanie Brown. Either way, it would just be a neat little homage. But anyway, that aside, I loved this art, guys, and I can't recommend it enough. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever you like to get your action figures and comics and pick up this series. And if you enjoy what we do here, really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you want to hit that fancy little Batwoman bell, next subscribe. That way we can upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love to talk with you and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure the links down in the description. And if you enjoy what I do and you'd like to support the channel, I've left a PayPal link in the description. And if not, I still appreciate you checking out the video. Either way, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.